I don't know. So let's get after it. We'll talk about this debate here.
Let's do it. The
Guess it
one and
was
only.
yeah, the one and only vice president. I probably wasn't gonna watch. I wasn't gonna watch much of it, but then I turned it on and I figure, why not? Just to see if there's anything crazy.
Bro,
Um,
it's all comedy nowadays. You got to watch it. The whole race, man. Not just for president.
well, compared to the presidential one, I mean, this was like downright almost boring. But
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
that's a good thing.
it was. The moderator kind of sucks, dude. Susan Page. I don't know anything about her until tonight. I know like a couple things about her. Yeah, it was just like she didn't say anything. All the candidates, or both candidates, did a terrible job, and the moderator just did nothing about it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think she did too bad. I mean, she kept thinking. It was going to be a more subdued. I mean, they still got at each other a little bit, but yeah, compared to the last time, it was civil,
Yeah,
which is what we needed. I mean, nobody wanted to see that shit show like that was last time.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's all anyone cared about is just something civil. Like, just tone it down. Like, let's have a normal debate.
right,
So you could
right.
tell that was their mindset.
I mean, if only Trump had like half of the restraint that Pence does. I mean, think of how much better of a candidate he would be. But I don't know. You obviously you don't agree with Pence's politics, but in terms of debate, I mean, I was so pleasantly surprised. I was kind of impressed that he did such a good job because I was expecting Kamala to kind of run steamroll over him because I mean she's a prosecutor, she's been in courtrooms, she knows how to articulate her side. And I thought Pence more than held his own, and I think he had her on the defensive for the most of the night. He was
Yeah,
answering questions, or he was making good points and attacking her, and she, like I said, she was on the defensive most of the night. That's my two cents of
yeah.
the.
I feel if I think about her on the defensive and him holding his own, I think she was on the offensive, but not because he was holding his own, just because like it was more or less attacking her. He was not holding his own because like it's never been so obvious the deflections that just took place before our eyes. Like the candidate and Kamala's like did it a number of times too. Not as much as VP Pence, but man, the very second question he goes, "Well, let me go back," and starts talking about the coronavirus, and they were talking about like presidential disability. And the first thing Pence is so like suspenseful. He's like, "Well, let me go back and talk about the coronavirus." So he did a bad
Well,
job.
he had to summon the power of God. That's what he's doing there.
Yeah,
He's commanding JC from above.
yeah, just so serious and the Orange Man. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually didn't see that first question about, but I wouldn't. That doesn't surprise me because I think Corona is the biggest weakness that they have.
Yeah,
Other than being crazy on
yeah,
Trump's part, but they're weak on Corona. I think most people think they've done a shitty job on Corona,
yeah,
myself included.
yeah.
Um,
100% myself.
that's their weakest issue. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they're trying to. They don't want to run on that. They want to make it the election on other issues, like the
Yeah,
economy and pointing out the alternative. Biden's been in Congress for 50 years or 45 years and
mm-hmm.
has probably a little to show for it. That's the election that they want to run. Those are the issues they want to raise. So yeah, he kept deflecting to that. Doesn't surprise me at all. But
And the
some of
Susan
the
did nothing
issues.
about
Go
it.
ahead.
That's why like Chris Wallace, he'll hold them accountable, bro, pretty consistently. Like you didn't answer the question, but bro, Susan Page, it's like, was she hearing what was going on? Like, yeah, it was. The moderator was pretty bad, man. Like, I would have
Well, you
called her
can't.
back
How
out.
are you going to force people to answer your question? I mean, a couple of times Pence went at Kamala specifically asking for answers to questions that she didn't answer either, like the packing the court question that we've spoken about. She
Sure,
wasn't going
but
to answer that.
yeah,
And
but
didn't.
I think that's a separate point. I'm making that it's Susan Page's questions or what have you, not Pence asking not the candidate, one candidate asking the other candidate about packing the court. Susan Page, the moderator, just asked questions, and it's like they just trampled all over her, and like she just did nothing about it because the very second question was really random. I don't think it was that great, but she's like, let's talk about the issue of presidential like disability, and both of them. So yeah, and that happened with far too many questions. And Pence, man, yeah, just didn't answer Susan Page. She asked him a pretty direct, savage question if he would outlaw abortion throughout the state of Indiana, and of course he didn't answer that. So yeah, I think it's one thing for the candidates just to like bicker and beat around the bush, but there's just the moderator's job, man. So I don't know. That's where I came down. Pence was a joke, dude. Such a joke, and he just went on.
Tell us how you really feel about him. Jeez.
Yeah, well, we're on a podcast. That's what I'm doing, man. I'm here to analyze.
Yeah,
bro.
so what's up with that? I was going to say, yeah, you've recorded the last two with your real name, so now I can't tell if you sound like a porn star or an English lord.
Yeah, right. Yeah, something along those lines.
Yes, Colin Hastings, could I have a word from you, my lord?
Yeah. Literally, yeah. Or Colin Hastings getting down and dirty. You never know.
Right.
But it was about time.
Colin Hastings, I'm not sure.
I do feel less restricted with it. I do feel better with it. I'll say whatever. So yeah, suit on him.
Whatever for shizzle.
Yeah, yeah, right.
That means you can. So wait, does that make you more likely or less likely to send it to a coworker now that you have a fake name?
Probably more likely, but I wouldn't do it. So.
Yeah, well, because Katie asked me about it again the other day. So.
Oh my God, she's fiending.
You've created a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do think overall Pence made a couple good points, and I can see that they've got quite a hole to dig. I don't see him coming out of it, but I do think he scored a couple of points. He certainly didn't hurt. He didn't hurt the Trump ticket at all tonight. I think he scored a couple of points when because he had her come out on the defensive about packing the court, taxes, the Green New Deal stuff. None of that stuff he wanted to talk about. And he specifically went back to fracking. He brought that up a couple times about how he's asserting that the Biden campaign wants to eliminate fracking, which is a big deal in Pennsylvania, which is really what this election is going to come down to is Pennsylvania.
But he maybe. I'm just like, what's the point about fracking that Pence tried to make? I don't know. They keep saying that. I just think they're lying through their teeth. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
On the screen.
They campaign that they're not removing it, that they're not getting rid of fracking. So Pence says that, and I'm like, sweet, man's just lying through his teeth. Why should I even listen to a word he says? Well,
is it Pence just lying through his teeth, or the Dems lying through their teeth? Because they've mentioned a couple times. I think he said Biden said in the last debate something about fracking, or they definitely said it in the Democratic primaries about it. They'll try to seem as liberal as possible in the primaries. But so when were they lying then, or are they lying now?
Did they say during the primaries that
I think so. That would make more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Maybe
because that's a big issue there. They're big in the energy sector, both in oil and gas up there. I know because I lived up there for a while. So
I got you. Yeah.
That's a big issue there. So that's why he brought it up so many times. Again, that's politics. I'm not saying that's what they do. They attack the other candidate, and they don't answer the questions they're asked. I mean, that's presidential debates 101. I mean, right? If you say you watched the debate with 08, they did the same shit then. But yeah, Corona, super weak on Corona. And I mean, that's the issue. That's the mountain, right? The Corona. I mean, what else is there to? I guess you could attack them on, just Trump craziness and shit, saying stupid, and the white supremacist thing. Yeah, that's obviously an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I just remember he was talking about Corona, and I forget the specifics of what he said, but I probably laughed out loud a few times just at the bullshit that came out of his mouth. He talked about fucking just respecting the American people, about Yeah, I think he like attacked like Kamala about respecting the American people dealing with like vaccines.
Well, he was saying, yeah, and it's pretty weak. Where he's saying, she says that the administration hasn't done anything, and he tried to spin it like all the American sacrifices the American people have made for Corona. It's like, well, that's not by choice,
Yeah, dude. So he didn't. They struggled with that. Pence did.
And he tried to talk about the Obama administration's response to H1N1, the swine flu. Online.
Yeah, I guess, but what the fuck, man? Like these Republicans, like, will not stop talking about like 11 years ago. I'm like, bro, we're campaigning for 2020 in the next 4 years. Like, yeah, sure, maybe a bunch of people got infected by swine flu. I don't really remember much from back then. I was a lot younger. At the same time, death count, bro. There's no comparison. He's like, if it was as deadly as coronavirus, then I'm like, well, let's stop talking hypotheticals and conditionals. And also about 2009, you stupid ass Republicans. Yeah, they will not fucking let that go. They're just chump suckers, dude. So
what did you call them?
Chump suckers. Chump suckers. Then you start talking about 2020, bro. These hung up ass, lame ass Republicans.
I mean, I still don't know. I am not excited about either of these candidates at all. But
I told you I'm moderately excited about. I was excited about Barack Obama. Joe Biden, I'm like, nah, he's not Donald Trump. He's okay. I don't know.
I bet you better get excited about Kamala, because that's going to be your vote Obama or Biden, and that's going to be the next president is Kamala Harris. And so you better get on board. And there's a lot of, that's the thing. Like I don't know. That's my gripe with a lot of people that support, any candidate. They they drink the Kool-Aid, and they don't want to look at all the warts that they have. And Trump's got plenty of warts. Trust me. I mean, I didn't vote for him, so I'm not excited about him at all. I mean, you got to be, objective and look at all sides, and you got to do the due diligence. Kamala's got plenty of baggage too. I mean, that stuff with her being the attorney general and in California incarcerating black men at like unprecedented amounts and stuff. And I mean, that's not totally responsible, but it's hard to justify her as being some like champion of, civil rights when she's putting black men in jail on record numbers for low level crimes.
Yeah. I mean, Republicans capitalize on that, which I feel you.
But, well, yeah, they get away with saying like, oh, Trump's line on that. And it's a good line. It's one of the better ones he has, is just like, I've done more for, black people in 4 years in office in terms of like, record high employment. And like the Democratic Party just takes the black vote for granted, which is totally true, I think.
Yeah. They're
good at just, paying the lip service and saying, well, it's like when Biden, he went on that podcast, Charlemagne the God, you know him?
I heard the name. I haven't heard the podcast. I have to see.
This was like 6 months ago. He said, and they're two black guys that host it. And he went on the podcast, and Joe Biden personally, and he said, they gave him a tough question, and he's like, what kind of credibility do you have or whatever? And it's like, why should we vote for you versus Donald Trump? And Joe Biden said, are you kidding, man? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Yeah. Biden just fucking up. Yeah.
Well, that's just like it's like the entitlement. They just expect black people to vote Democratic. I remember when Kanye West came out, and you got to respect him for saying that. I mean, he came out and said he supported Donald Trump. Yes, Kanye West is a little crazy, of course, but I mean, you got to respect that he was willing to come on and do that, because he was saying, like, people were telling him, "Oh, you can't do that, man. You'll ruin your career. You can't come out and support a Republican." Yeah. So. I do respect him for that. Again, even though he's a little goofy, but I don't know. I appreciate people that think outside the box and do something different.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, I have hope that the the whole deal with black incarceration will improve, numbers go down. I don't know. I feel like that's generally a more, liberal Democrat policy. And at least with Obama granting clemencies and pardons, granted them out the ass. And I think that's a good thing, because our justice system is far too aggressive. So I guess that's my point. Is I have hope. I don't know if it's based on like super hard evidence. To your point about high incarceration numbers, but it's 2020. Let's improve the justice system. I don't know. That's how I feel.
You'll leave us with that parting thoughts.
That's really
I think the best thing we can do for that is decriminalizing some of the drugs that are not.
Biden will do, man. Biden decriminalize reefer. That'd be a great day for everyone.
Aren't we there? Aren't we almost there? I feel like we're almost there.
Like half the country, I feel like Georgia's, well, Atlanta is, but Georgia's not. So, and it's still not legal. I don't know. Decriminalize is one thing. If it's decriminalized, I'll be stoked, man.
What's the penalty in Atlanta? You get like a ticket if they.
Yeah, like it's like $75, bro. It's chill. Like maybe you go to court, or like you pay $75. You go back home to my hometown. It's just like a bubble with like a lot of publicly funded police, and like they'll just arrest you out the ass. Like there's 30 miles in most places outside the perimeter. So yeah, I mean, got to decriminalize it. Vote Joe Biden. Like do what you can. I don't know.
That sounds like a good note to end on.
It does. Also, along those lines, submitted my ballot or put it in the mail. So I think
I just saw.
It's good time.
Okay. Who did you vote for?
Bro, Joe Biden, man. Let's
go. Speaking of, I did just see someone, I just saw it on the news. I don't remember where it was. I want to say Jersey or something. Like some guy postal worker got arrested for dumping mail and a bunch of ballots and stuff. So, Trump's going to make an issue out of that, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you. There's probably going to be litigation out the ass. And when it comes down to it, I feel like the courts are going to look for hard evidence of like real anything widespread, and they're just not going to have it, bro. Any cases like that are just one off, like a few, like a basket full of like a few ballots, like in a basket. So like it's not widespread, dude. It's like, so what? It's not going to affect.
Right.
I don't know, man. The litigation is just going to be a fucking shit show. And
it's coming. It's definitely coming. But it's not going to make a difference if Trump loses by 6 points in Pennsylvania. I mean, no amount of courts can get involved in that. It's going to have to be a lot closer.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, crazy. I agree. And I hope that's the case with the 6 point loss, dude. I'm just the poll. I don't trust him after last year. I always just see screenshots from last year's polls, and I'm like, fuck, that is the exact same. I don't know. I mean, I feel good.
It was a lot closer in 16. The stuff that I'm seeing, it was like Trump was down by like 3 points.
Sure. And I'm pretty aware Joe Biden has a way more momentum. I mean, at least more likable than Hillary Clinton. Like, no one really liked her at all. So Joe Biden's got a hell of a race going, and I'm stoked for it. I'm hoping for the best.
The one thing I think Trump still got on his side is the enthusiasm thing. Because, like you said, people are just not excited about Biden, by and large. I saw something, like I have some friends, they're actually from up in Pennsylvania and like West Virginia up there. So they're all Trump supporters. But someone sent a picture of the early voting breakdown, and it showed conservatives were voting, Republicans were voting in greater numbers than Democrats in early voting, and I was surprised to see that. But I'm not entirely sure where that was coming from. So I don't know. I'll see if I can find some more information on that. Another thing I did notice was we forgot to talk about this before, I think, but this is from the last debate. After the last debate, it was Telemundo, the Hispanic channel, their coverage of the debate, and the people the Telemundo people that answered their poll thought Trump won that debate by like a significant margin. Now that's interesting.
What the fuck, dude?
That's interesting because because that's another group that most liberals think that, oh, well, they're minorities, they're just going to vote Democratic, and that's not the case. There's a lot of conservative Latinos, and Biden has the edge there, but it's not nearly as much as you would think, as much as I thought.
Sure,
it's like Trump has like 40% support of Latinos by and large, and apparently in Telemundo viewers it's like 55-45 Trump. So
Fuck, 2 days. That's a lot.
I don't know if that's going to make a difference. Probably not. Maybe in Florida, maybe, but which is important. But yeah, I mean, again, it's like it's too far out of reach for Trump. I mean, some major would have to happen, But I don't know. That's why we're staying tuned, right?
Yeah, that's why we're staying tuned, man. Doing all the things. I have hope for Florida. All I know is that billionaire Michael Bloomberg went in there and spent like $100 million on Joe Biden's campaign. So that was pretty rad. That was like a month ago.
Really? I didn't hear that.
That was like a while ago, like 6 weeks maybe at this point. I don't really know if it's affecting much, but who knows? Key state would be super rad if it turned blue. Stay on top of it, I guess.
Yeah, with all the liberals moving down there, it probably is. You're gonna turn. They're leaving all the states that they're moving from, and they move to states like Georgia and turning blue. I heard Georgia's a toss-up state right now. You heard that?
It's crazy, man. Fucking crazy. There's a lot of cities like Atlanta, like Athens, where UGA is, where they're definitely blue, man. There's a lot of just big, wide open red areas, districts here. So it's toss-up. Who knows?
Right. Cool. Well, I guess we better stay on top of it.
Yeah, let's absolutely. Let's convene soon with a lot more, man.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to end this right now. Later.
I'll talk to you soon, man. Bye.